This is Kara from A Pure Rock Shop, and I've got Olli from Reckless Love here with us today to discuss the band's new album. How are you today, Olli?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, Kara.
Absolutely. So happy to talk to you. It's been a while since I've seen you. I caught you guys once live in the United Kingdom at the Hair Metal Heaven Festival.
Oh yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah.
Barely
It's
though.
been a while, and that was an amazing festival. I was very surprised it actually happened. Such a great lineup, and glad we finally got to see you guys live.
Yeah, it was good memories from. I mean, the UK has some great festivals, and that is one of. I've got fond memories from that one, especially.
Yeah, so a lot of the people that follow me probably aren't familiar with Reckless Love. So I'd love for you to give us a little bit of a history of the band.
All right.
Tell us when you guys started and some of your influences to kind of give us some background on you guys.
Reckless Love was founded actually all the way back in 2001. It's the
Yeah.
first band that I ever started,
Okay.
and the first band that I ever was a part of. And same for the other guys as well. Uh, the only um, the only one who's changed in the lineup is the drummer. Our original drummer. He made a sane choice, and now he's a banker. So he makes the big bucks nowadays.
Okay.
And the rest of us are still stuck with rock and roll because that's everything we know. So it took us only 9 years to make the first record. So in 2010 is where the Reckless Love story truly begins. Up until that point, we were pretty much just trying to learn how to make songs good enough, and earning our chops,
Excellent.
learning how to actually do this rock and roll thing.
Very cool.
and yeah, we basically did it in, well, somewhere in the mystical small pubs of Eastern Finland
Okay.
during the time before the first record, and we played an odd festival here and there in Finland too. But yeah, that was. There's nothing much to tell about that. We were basically just a band rehearsing in a garage. That's
Okay.
that's what Reckless Love was for the first 9 years. And yeah, back in 2010, we were signed to Universal Music, and a major label that actually got us signed, and they offered us a great deal in my opinion at that point. And
Mhm.
yeah, well, ended up working pretty well for us. The first three albums went gold in Finland, and it's been a huge roller coaster of a ride ever since. It's been really exciting. We've released four albums before
Mhm.
the new one that's going to be released. Actually, well, we're doing this on Thursday, so
Okay.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's Reckless Love is well, nowadays you might call it a sleaze rock band or a sleaze metal band, but
Hmm.
our influences are pretty much in the 80s hair metal and heavy metal. I'm wearing a Van Halen t-shirt
Yeah.
just to make sure that everybody knows where I come from. That's pretty much like Van Halen for me is the alpha and omega of rock and roll.
Okay.
I started out listening to Guns N' Roses and Metallica and stuff like that, but I've always felt like this is kind of like, I think I've always felt like it's cool. And watching Axl Rose do his things, especially as an early '80s kid, I was in the perfect age during the early '90s when Guns N' Roses was at their at this, their at their biggest. So Axl already kind of like was for me the idol. But
Mm.
a couple of years later, I found out about Van Halen, and
Okay.
Van Halen was a major turning point. It sounded like they have the best party all the time, every song is having the best time ever. And nobody has as much fun as they do, and especially the David Lee Roth era started out from Van Halen one, and yeah, it's strange to think that when I found out about Van Halen, the record was made less than 20 years ago, and now it's
Yeah.
more than 40 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, Def Leppard is definitely there. Def Leppard's Hysteria is one of my all-time favorite albums. It's one of
Mm.
those things that I remember listening to as a kid, not knowing what rock and roll is, but I just heard it on the radio. And later on in life, when I found out about Def Leppard, I put on Hysteria, and pretty much like all of the songs were like, huh, okay,
Yeah.
so this is Def Leppard. I've heard this song before. And
That was the
then,
album for me that turned me on to rock and roll for sure. So,
yeah,
and I
plenty
can
of,
hear it in
plenty
your
of us did.
music. I can definitely hear the Def Leppard in your music.
Well, yeah, Def Leppard is it's truly one of the cornerstones for Reckless Love. That's like it's in the DNA of Reckless Love. And Kiss is there too. You can see the S. Which side is it there?
Yes.
The Kiss.
Yeah.
Kiss logo S's are on the logo as well. So Kiss has been a major influence for us. And not the masked era, but the much hated unmasked 80s era, especially that one. The crazy, crazy night, the stupid, stupid, stupid Kiss. That's what we love. And of course, we love the masked era as well. So don't hate on us. But yeah, those are pretty much like the three. That's the holy trinity for Reckless Love: Van Halen, Def Leppard, Kiss. But yeah, of course, there's heavier stuff there too. Metallica, Guns N' Roses. That's what we grew up on. We listened quite a bit of Judas Priest, especially myself. And Ozzy. Ozzy's always been there. He's like a granddad or something. He's always been there. It's kind of like started out because my father was listening to Black Sabbath quite a lot. So, it was, I don't know how, but it was kind of like Black Sabbath was my father's thing. So I found out about Ozzy's solo career, and I immediately thought that this is better, especially when my dad says it's no good.
That's always how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah. So tell us about the new album.
The new album is first of all, we've been the last album before this one, Invader. The fourth album of Reckless Love was released in 2016, so it's been quite a while since we've done a record. And 6 years away from studio, there's bound to be a lot that has changed over the years, because Reckless Love has always been the kind of band that evolves throughout or as the years go by. We're not the kind of band like AC/DC or Motorhead that keeps writing the same song over and over again. Don't get me wrong, I love those bands as well, but we're just not as good. We need to evolve in order to stay alive. And it somehow comes from our idols as well. When you think of Kiss, they always had a certain type of image for every album, and every album sounded a bit different.
Yeah.
Especially back then. But there was Animalize with the raw sounds. And of course, they always had the poppy choruses, but then there was Asylum with the glam rock kind of thing with all the colors, and so on. Same thing with Motley Crue, also a very big influence for us. Each and every record is different from each other. Def Leppard, no need to mention them. I mean, Pyromania is way different than Hysteria is, and Adrenalize after that is, again, it's different. And it's just a natural part of Reckless Love. So I knew immediately that 6 years ago, we were a completely different animal than we are now. And the world has changed so much. The break was not supposed to be that long. Of course, there was a lot of bad luck because of the pandemic took over. So that's 2 extra years into the break. And of course, we toured for 2 years after the release of the fourth album. So actually, we just took a year and a half of break, like a sabbatical. And we actually came back. We started the 10-year anniversary tour on 2020 from Australia. We were supposed to go around the world, but the little thing called pandemic took over and fucked everything over big time. So now we get back. So now we get back to Turborider, the fifth album. It's the next step basically for Reckless Love. It's the rebirth. It's we needed to evolve somewhere in order to stay alive, and this is how we ended up. This is kind of like the common ground where sleaze rock, hair metal of the 80s, and especially the over the top, crazy, completely insane 80s hair metal stuff with the electric drums and the keyboards meets with modern synthwave. This is kind of like, I think they have a common ground there somewhere, because synthwave kind of like draws influences from that era. And so we decided to kind of like flip it and just do a modern version. And here we are with Turborider, and it's raised quite some few questions from people. What the fuck are you guys doing?
It definitely still has the Reckless Love sound, but it is a very different album.
Thank you very much. I like to think it so myself. I mean, I still feel like it very much sounds like a Reckless Love album, and it really truly is a Reckless Love album. And for some reason, I don't see. I know that people listen to it and think that everything's changed very much, but in the same time, I feel like, have you actually listened to Reckless Love before? Because even on the first record, there's a song called "Back to Paradise" with the electric drums, with the sequence synthesizer. So it's basically kind of like a stripped down version. It could be this exact song could be on Turborider. It's basically made out of the same wood. We just turned up the the synth wave type of element in our music. We turned it up to 11. We spinal tapped it. We turbocharged it.
Cool. So what's next now with this album coming out this week? You guys planning to get back on the road since the pandemic, put a wrench in all of that?
Big time. What's the point of coming back if you don't come back with a bang? So we're starting from Finland. We were supposed to be on tour at the moment, but of course the pandemic kept on going, and it was there was no chance it was going to happen. So the tour was already supposed to be happening on like late February throughout March, but now it's postponed. It starts in late August for the UK, for Europe. So we're gonna do that in August, September, and before that we tour the whole of Finland and do plenty of festival shows here in Finland. We also have one UK festival there. There's plenty of shows coming up next autumn as well, and we're already booking shows for 2023. So there's Monsters of Rock Cruise is one that has actually
very excited about that.
That's come public already.
Yeah,
so I can talk about that. So we're coming back to the States, first time in 10 years.
I was going to ask you if you'd played the States before, because I've never seen you play here, but have you done shows?
We played at the Viper Room. I'm not sure if it was 2011 or 2012.
Okay.
And after that, we played this an industry kind of like a showcase thing at SIR Studios. It was a huge event, though. But yeah, I'm not sure if it was kind of like open for public.
Okay.
But anyway, that was in 2011, I think.
Well, very excited to have you on. Monsters of Rock is going to be epic, so I'm very excited that you guys are going to be there next year.
Yeah, I'm very excited myself. And well, if there's somebody listening who wants to actually make Reckless Love tour Northern America, talk to your local promoters to book us, because we are definitely looking into the possibilities of possibly building a tour around the cruise, maybe doing a tour before the cruise or something like that. But we're just making inquiries, so and keeping our fingers crossed and thumbs up and whatever. Because of course we want to come to North America, and for me at least, and for the band, it seems like it's the most important thing to do at the moment, because the way the world is right now, with the horrible news from Eastern Europe, from Ukraine and Russia. And of course, 2 years of pandemic bullshit. It feels like people, we need to escape this horrible array of bad news that just keeps on coming. And I just want to see people and let us be the
Yeah.
soundtrack for your good time. Let's escape this bullshit for one night only. Come to party with Reckless Love.
Yeah. That sounds like a great plan. Anything else on the horizon that we haven't brought up, Ollie?
Oh, oh man, there's lots to talk about,
Yeah.
but yeah, and so many things happening right now, and I'm super excited, as you can probably tell.
Yeah.
The album comes out in what's the time? I'm not sure.
It's
In a
well, it's
few
1 o'clock
hours.
here in the States. I'm not sure what time it is there. I haven't done the calculation.
But yeah, it's coming out pretty soon, in a
Yeah.
few hours here in Finland, and
Okay.
pretty soon there in the States as well. So very excited. Read a few reviews, and you know, I'm actually a bit disappointed. We didn't. I mean, we expected a lot of hate from the critics, but they seem to fucking like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Reckless Love has. I mean, that's just the essence of Reckless Love. More good times. That's how the love
Yeah.
spreads around us, and that's how. I mean, the hippies were right. Make love, not war. And you know, for us, it's party on. Don't
Yeah.
no war.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for making time to join us today, and look forward to seeing you next April on the cruise, if not sooner. So,
We'll see you there then.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, awesome.
All right. Thanks,
Yeah.
Ollie.
Let's do this live then, and record that as well.